Welcome back to this magic show called Programming with Qt and QML. I'm Jesper Pedersen from KDAB. We saw grids, or we saw a row or a column or whatever it was we saw in the previous video, together with a repeater. The repeater spit out a number of elements. They went into this column, which meant that we had a number of elements on top of each other in a column. Here's what you should try now. Pause the playback, create a repeater that spits out 200 million items. And when you've seen that, come back. Yes, your computer will likely have crashed, or your QML engine will have complained too many elements in this scene or whatever. That's just not doable. For that, we have ListView. Let's not go down the road of discussing usability of your application if you have 200 million elements, but nevertheless, with a ListView, you'll only get as many elements out of or into the view as is needed on the screen. Give and take. Now, let's see what a ListView looks like. We have it up here. My list view, I anchor it as usual, I give it a model, I give it a delegate, and I say clip::true. The clip::true is actually needed with the list view, otherwise it will actually draw the items outside of the list view when you're scrolling up and down, and you do likely not want that. Let's see the complete code here. It is really just what's on the screen plus what we've seen previously. Here is my model. I got a number of elements generated in my model. Here's my component. It creates this text element. And here's my list view. And the list view, just as the code that we saw there. I run it, and this time we can see that I can actually scroll the list view. All of the element is visible at the screen at the same time, so that's less fun, but let's just add a few more, see how fast I can type. And now when I scroll it, you can see that I can actually scroll the elements that we have here. I told you that the list view actually allow us to not create all the elements up front, and for that I can prove it to you. I know how you like me to prove things, so how would I prove it? Press the pause button now and ask yourself, how could I actually see that? Yeah, I'm just shutting up for a while because I know you're not going to press the pause button. Yes, component.onComplete and component.onDestruction. These are the two signal handlers that will be executed whenever either the element is created or deleted. So component, who pressed my catalog? Component.onComplete, console.log, welcome. And let's say model.index. and model.name. Similar component. I'm too lazy to type all that. Component on destruction or on destroyed. Same thing. Cannot assign to none. It's not called on destroyed. On destruction. I was right. There we are. And now we can see it says down here, welcome 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I scroll a bit more, 15 and 16. And if I scroll a lot more, well, I guess I should have not cut and pasted that much because I want the other one to be saying die. So now we go. And let's soon get to kill somebody. We are welcoming people. There we are. Now I killed Bob and Jane and Victor and Wendy because I ran out of memory for how much memory I had. That's one of those things that you control with QListView. You can control down to the pixel level how many pixel lines that you want in your cache. The cache is called cache buffer. So my list view here, cache buffer, let's just give it 40. That's 40 pixel lines. It doesn't mean that I'll have 40 elements. It's just 40 lines of pixels. And when I scroll down, it will reload in at the bottom extra elements up to 40 pixels lines of element. And you can see I welcomed Bob now. That's Alice. And now I welcome Jane. Here's Bob. I welcomed just before. I welcome Victor and so on. You can see I welcome them a bit. And I also start killing them off at the other end way sooner, simply because I only had 40 lines. I had 40 lines above and 40 lines below for caching. So when I started scrolling, they would fall off the list at the top. Okay, how many do I have by default? Well, again, component dot onComplete console.log cache buffer, and you can see where did the printout? There we are. I got 320 pixels on each side of my list view for the cache buffer. You're gonna observe something really unique now. You're gonna observe me being stupid. Okay, I am gonna act stupid because it's really difficult being stupid by command here. I have even written down my list of how stupid I can be. I'm just gonna simulate you when you start playing with ListView the very first time. Or I'm gonna simulate me the first 250 times I was working with ListView, because there's a number of things that can go wrong. And every time you do one of those things, you have seen it before, you'll go like, what was it again? So bookmark this part in this video production so that you can go back and see this, because, well, as I said, there are quite a few things that can go wrong. Let's go back to this example. Did I just close it down? See, that was step number one in being stupid. I shouldn't close it down. There we are. I would like now to have the possibility of a highlight. If I run my application again, you can see there is no highlight of the current item here. I would like to add that myself. In the next video, we're going to see how to do that, but up until that next video, we could do it ourselves. QML, of course, or ListView, of course, do support this built-in. Anything else would be pretty stupid of the ListView, and it's only me that's stupid now, so it is built in, but I'll show you how you could do it yourself. It goes like this. So first of all, I would like to update a current index. And if we just go and look at my ListView, we'll actually notice that the ListView, it has a current index, so I'll update that. It goes on my component here. I'll add or my text, I'll add a mouse area, and I will say on clicked current index. Let's just give it ID :root here. Root.current index equal to index. Model.index. And yes, index is one of those that are so special that it's okay to say just index rather than model.index. And then I want to go down on my list view here. It's of course, see, I'm stupid. That's okay. That was not stupid by mistake. That was a true stupid. ID list view here. It's the list view's current index that I want to update. And then I'll go down here and say component. Let's not do that anymore. We'll say on current index changed, console.log current index. And we run. And now when I click on the item, I have proven to you that I can be stupid on command because nothing works. Pause it and think over what did go wrong. And welcome back. Yes, I did forget to anchor my mouse area, so it filled exactly 0 pixels. That is likely not what I want. Now it works. Not anchors fill unclicked list view to current index equal to index on current index change console.log. Oh, sorry. I of course need to see my application output, and now in my application output we can see that when I click on the items here that the current index updates. That was the first one. Now, what I would like to do is that I would like to highlight that current index. So I would like to add a rectangle around the element here. My rectangle will have a color, and the color should be current index, well, ListView.current index is equal to index, then it should be gray, and otherwise it should be transparent. Well, let's make it yellow just so that we are not blaming transparent for the mistake of things. We'll make this text element inside of my rectangle. Let me just select it all and re-indent so that we can see it looks right. My rectangle here has the text element inside it, and it looks pretty good, right? Let's run it. This is a celebration. It was 150,000th time I had this exact problem. It's so annoying. Every time I forget, what is it really? All my elements are standing on top of each other. Why is that? All right, yes. My rectangle here doesn't have a height, so therefore its height will be 0 pixels. Well, wait a minute, I saw the text. Well, that, my dear friend, is because I had clip false, meaning that the children are still able to draw outside of the parent. Now clip true and you see absolutely nothing. Let's just try and run this in Gamma Ray and see why. Because Gamma Ray is actually kind enough to tell us, for each of those it tells us, my dear friend, item is visible but out of view. Okay, item has size of 0. Oh yeah, that is this height. So let's go and kill it again. It is the height that I need to specify here. You know better by now. It's of course the implicit height that I want to specify. And the implicit height should be, and let's not call it root, let's call it text dot implicit height. Implicit height. Run it. And still nothing's going on. Let's see. Yes, implicit width, obviously. And text.implicit width. Hallelujah! We see something now. We even see that I can select an item and it becomes the current item. However, if you look at this, it looks somewhat weird, doesn't it? The yellow extends only to the end of the name. So obviously we wanted to take the full width here. And how do we do that? Well, of course, I need to specify not just the width here, I need to anchor it to the left and to the right. So instead of the implicit width, let's just anchor it. So anchors left colon parent dot left, right colon parent dot right. And now it takes the full width and I can click on my items here. Everything's beautiful. Oops. Yeah, I can only click on the text, not outside of the text. So what's the problem here? Well, the problem, of course, is the mouse area. The text, the mouse area only fills the text, so maybe it would make sense to take the mouse area here, move it one level out. Now it fills the whole item, and I can click out here. Nice. There is one problem. If you're in for creating reusable components, then you might want to have this component, the name delegate here, actually work also with other list views. So how do we do that? See, it only works with this list view because it says ListView.currentIndex. And for that, we need to go to our list view. We need to look at the documentation for our list view. my documentation down here, I have this section on attached properties. And one of the attached properties, view. So whenever I got a delegate, then that delegate has an attached property ListView.view, which is actually a pointer to the actual ListView using that delegate. So I can go down here and I can say, instead of LD here, I can say ListView.current index, and you can see everything works fine still. I can do the same thing, going down to the other place that was here, ListView.view.current index, and now it doesn't work anymore. The key thing to understand is that the attached properties are only attached to the root element of the delegate, not throughout the whole hierarchy. That's an optimization that, yes, okay, it's an optimization. Sometimes optimizations hurt. This one hurts every time you forget about it, but I'll show you a simple trick to avoid this. The first way I could solve this problem would be to simply say parent.listview.view, and here we are again, back in action. But if I had an element that was several layers deep, then I couldn't do parent.listview.view.current index. I would need to have an ID on the root element, likely called root, and then root or root delegate or whatever, root delegate dot listview.view dot and so on. There's another way to do this. Up here on my list view, I will simply create a new property. Let's call that __LV, and the value is ListView.view. Let's make that a read-only property even. Read-only property __LV : ListView.view. Why are you giving me errors? Invalid name, read-only property. I think it's just confused. That's okay. Everybody can get confused at some point. And then down here, __LV, and down here, instead of the parent at ListView.view, __LV, let's just see it running. So am I the one really confused? Read-only property __LV : hey, that's when you just go and restart. Read-only property type. Oh, of course, G. And the type is alias, or we could even make it ListView and then __LV, and it's ListView.view. Unfortunately, none of us are confused anymore. You can see I can click on each of the items. So let that be a pattern that you will apply to your delegates going forward. You'll have this read-only property ListView : __ListView : ListView.view. With this whole thing, you can just, throughout your delegate, refer to the actual ListView as __ListView or __LV. That's quite a few challenges that I put myself to, and quite a few problems that I had there with the items. And trust me, especially the one where you see all the items up at the top, standing on top of each other. I doom you. You're gonna, and jinx you that you're gonna see that in a number of different setup going forward. But just remember, you need to specify the implicit width and implicit height, or at least some other way to avoid that problem. In the next section, we'll go even deeper into the list view. So thank you for listening in. And if you haven't done so already, you know what I'm going to say now. Please do subscribe to our channels.